Hello, litigators. Court is now in session. I am starting something new. I'm going to play my intro waiting music until we can get some people to join the live, and then we will start. All right.
Hey, Barbie. Chloe. Period I, period 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 Got my name up in your mouth, you don't know no better. Don't forget I'm from the south, yeah, I got them headers. You watching everything I do, studying all of my moves. Wish you could do what I do. Period I, period period I, period period I, period period I, period.
All right. That's the intro. Waiting for people to get into the chat. Come on, y'all, get into the chat. It's only like 2 people here. I don't want to play it again. All right, I'll get started with the people that are here. They're just gonna have to rewind it. Y'all just gonna have to rewind it. This is a crazy story, y'all. Crazy. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys are hearing about the crisis that is happening. Although there's an issue with human trafficking, there is an issue with organ trafficking, and it's happening in different parts of the world. And I think it's very relevant to talk about this issue because a lot of us like to travel. Okay. And we've been noticing when people have been traveling to these different places, some people are coming up missing. Missing indefinitely, not finding these people. And one of the issues is because of organ trafficking. So let's talk about what's happening. Organ trafficking ring busted after a boy found in lab with his kidney removed. And look what they're doing here. So police in Pakistan. Now, I've seen some other places, but police in Pakistan said Friday they busted an organ trafficking ring when a missing 14-year-old boy, yeah, I said that correctly, a missing 14-year-old boy was found in an underground lab after having his kidney removed. The ring was responsible for luring young, vulnerable victims with promises of lucrative jobs and large payouts before removing their organs, mainly kidneys, to sell up to $900,000 or $4,000 in American terms. But guys, this is an issue. A lot of y'all want to travel and go on these vacations, and a lot of people are coming up missing because of organ trafficking. It was only after we followed the evidence and leads that we discovered that there was an organ trafficking operation behind the boy's disappearance. The spokesman for Punjab police said on Friday, 6 people were arrested. The boy told us that when he awoke, there was an Arab man on the stretcher next to him. So we think that most of the clients were foreigners. Did you hear that, guys? Most of the clients were foreigners. Y'all need to be careful. There is an organ trafficking ring that I've been noticing in different countries. And who knows if there's not one lurking in your country. Or not even that. When you're traveling to these different countries for vacation and you think you're going there to have fun, only to find out someone's looking to traffic you for your organs. This is insane. The gang's victims were taken to a medical testing lab used for organ transplant surgeries in the Garrison City, near the capital, Islamabad. Facilities such as clandestine surgeries in Pakistan often lack proper medical equipment and standards, and patients have been known to die from complications as a result. Person says, I'm just grateful that the police found him alive. Otherwise, they would have left him for dead, the boy's father told AFP in Lahore, from where the boy went missing. My gosh, this is scary, guys. You need to be careful. There's people out there trafficking organs, and you could fall prey not even realizing. And they're luring people with different incentives. You think you may be going somewhere for something nice and end up being a victim. So be careful. The police said that the doctors and surgeons involved in the operation had not been tracked down. And see, how do you know the police are not working with the doctors? Because if they're being paid under the table, they might be letting these doctors escape and then try to claim they can't find the doctors. So you got to be careful with that. There's a lot of corruption in these places. Pakistan outlawed the commercial trade in human organs in 2010, imposing a jail term of up to 10 years and fines in the hopes of curbing the sale of organs to rich overseas clients by middlemen through exploitive means. Now look at the red flag here. The sentence is only 10 years. Are you serious? That's literally murder that they're doing. They're literally murdering these people because they were going to take this poor boy's kidneys and leave him for dead. Yeah, leave him there to die. That's murder. But they're only getting 10 years sentence for that. It makes me think, what if the officers and other people are secretly in conspiracy with these doctors because they're making a lot of money from these organs that they're selling? According to 2020 analysis published by the National Library of Medicine, roughly 10% of all organ transplants worldwide are believed to be illegal. Worldwide. Organ transplants worldwide are believed to be illegal. So that means this organ transplant conspiracy issue is happening across the globe. There's really an undercover organ trafficking ring. And they're making thousands of dollars. It's a scary thing to know that not only is there a human trafficking issue, but there's an organ trafficking issue. My Lord, help me. The illegal trade of human organs generates about The analysis called organ trafficking a global problem with health and human rights consequences for millions of people, especially for those in vulnerable situations such as migrants. The illegal trade of human organs generates about $1.5 billion each year from roughly 12,000 illegal transplants, according to a 2017 report by Global Financial Integrity. $1.5 billion they're making from human organ trafficking. That is terrifying, guys. This is terrifying. More than 100,000 people in the United States are waiting for an organ transplant, but only slightly more than half of them are expected to receive an organ within 5 years. Now, this is not the only location. Like I said, this is happening globally, but they finally found one of them and caught one of them in Pakistan. But there's also another person that was caught this Wednesday. 2 Indonesian teens were arrested for murder trying to sell organs of a 10-year-old child. This is another case of it happening, guys. Indonesian police said suspects aged 14 and 17 attempted to sell the 10-year-old victim's organs on an online marketplace. Wow, that is terrifying, man. The teens were allegedly lured into the crime by a foreign-based website. You see this, a foreign-based website? This stuff is happening globally. They're utilizing websites to communicate with people. And this foreign-based website promised hefty amounts for peddlers selling human organs on its platform. And see, there's a lot of victims out there, people out there, patients out there that are waiting to have an organ transplant. So it's a very lucrative criminal action for them to, kidnap these people and take their organs because they're making billions of dollars from selling these organs. This is sick, right? Isn't this terrifying? My gosh, it's terrifying. The teens, so Indonesia police have arrested 2 teenagers for allegedly kidnapping and unaliving a child in an attempt to sell the victim's organs on an online marketplace. The police said the 10-year-old boy's body was found wrapped inside a plastic bag under a bridge on Tuesday. Officers asked investigators following a missing persons report filed by the minor's parents revealed the suspects aged 14 and 17 or trying to get rich quick to escape their financial plight. And that's the issue. A lot of these global individuals from other countries are targeting individuals in certain countries who are impoverished and who are desperately seeking resources, you guys, to survive. And so it's so easy for them to target someone like this 14 and 7-year-old who's trying to get rich quick to escape poverty. So it's a scary game out here, guys. And this is really shedding light on what's really going on in this world. You got to be careful. Do you have questions about, what's this say? No, this is just, I don't know what this is about. Oh, hold on. Police chief said the teens were lured into the criminal activity by a foreign-based website that promised hefty amounts of money selling human organs on its platform. This is terrifying, guys. The suspects were influenced by the organ trade as they wanted to be rich and own property, the chief said. He added youngsters were planning to sell the organs of the deceased, the Tempo News website reported. This is terrifying. And this is happening all over the world. They said workers' death revived safety concerns in Indonesia's China-backed rail project. He said the initial inquiry suggested no organ trafficking ring was involved in this case. The suspects were charged with premeditated unaliving for a child protection law. According to the World Health Organization, 1/10 of all global organ transplants are due to using illegally obtained organs. So who knows if, say, someone's grandma in America or somewhere is trying to get a kidney transplant, and there is some poor migrant or immigrant somewhere in another, or some poor individual in another country who gets targeted and illegally unalived, y'all, so they could take their organs so they could sell it to an American or some other country. This is disturbing, guys. This is disturbing, and it's been hidden from the public for many years, and a lot of people don't know. It's so scary. It is terrifying. Hi, Miss Ma'am. Girl, it's been happening in different parts of the world. The first article that I read, it was happening in Pakistan. The second one is in Indonesia, and now they're talking about China. So I've just talked about 3 different locations. So the one in China is saying that workers' death revived safety concerns in Indonesia's China-backed rail project. And they were talking about a worker that was injured, and they said it wasn't caused by organ trafficking for his case, but they're saying that 1/10 of all global organ transplants are done using illegally obtained organs. A report by the Washington-based think tank Global Financial Integrity said the organ trafficking trade generates an estimated US dollar amount of $840 million to a US dollar amount of $1.7 billion annually. That means there are a lot of victims out here who have been trafficked for their organs. And the scary part is, you think about it, you might be going on a vacation trip. And I've been hearing a lot of disturbing cases about some people, like Americans and other people, going to different countries, and then they come up missing, and you never hear about them ever again, period. And I'm starting to get worried. I'm like, were they trafficked for their organs? And not even just Americans, but people who are immigrant, not even immigrants, they're just from their homeland and they're impoverished. And so they're desperate for food or money to try to survive. And so they get lured into coming to a certain location only to find out that they, get knocked out or something, and they take their organs, like they just did in the case we talked about. They took the little kid's kidneys, and then they took another child's organs and tried to sell it on a website that then sells those organs to different places across the world. This is terrifying, guys. My gosh. I mean, let me be real. I've heard about the organ trafficking issue. I heard about it, right? But I never believed it. I thought it was a conspiracy. Don't judge me, y'all. Do not come for me in the chat. I know some people are like, girl, you should already know. But I just thought it was a conspiracy. I was like, nobody's going to be trafficking somebody's organs. That's crazy. For example, my mom used to tell me about that. But now that I'm reading about these different busts that's been happening with the organ trafficking, it's like, oh my God, this is real. And it's happening all over the world in different parts. It's scary. And they're making a lucrative amount of money, guys. They're making $800 million to $1.7 billion per year from organ trafficking. it's a very lucrative lucrative job. It's a very lucrative crime that's going on. And so there's an incentive for them to keep doing these horrible crimes. This is terrifying. And to think about it, the scary part about it is what if you have a family member that needs an organ transplant, right? And you now have to think about the fact that this organ may have come from some impoverished kid in Indonesia or Pakistan or China somewhere who was kidnapped illegally and brutally unalive so that they could take this person's organs to give to your family member. It's like, it's making me think of the blood diamond issue that was happening in Africa, but now we're thinking about organs happening. This is scary, man. This is, oh my God. Last year, Indonesia police contacted their Brazilian counterparts after authorities raided the Amazonian State University, where a parcel containing a human hand, oh my gosh, and 3 placentas, were couried to Singapore. And see, they're doing it in these different parts of the country, these different countries around the world, and then they're just, you see what that's happened? They take the organs and they send it off to other places. Like, for example, in Indonesia, this is the one where they sent a human hand and 3 placentas to Singapore. Oh my gosh, I am done. This is scary, guys. It's terrifying. Brazil said the package was intended for Indonesian fashion designer Arnold Putra, who was in 2020 spotted with a handbag made of human spine and alligator tongue, Vice News said. So this guy right here, who's supposed to be some very famous, lucrative Indonesia fashion designer, that purse that he has right there, you see that purse? It's made from human spine. Oh my gosh. Think about this, guys. You remember how, we speak out as people who are animal rights advocates who speak out against people like wearing cute, like animal furs and leather and stuff, real leather, because it harms the animals or whatever. Well, now we have to think about the fact that people like this guy, this Indonesian fashion designer over here, trafficking organs, buying traffic organs or whatever, or traffic a human spine, basically a human organ traffic spine or whatever, to make a fashion designer statement, make this purse. Are you serious? This is disgusting. Ew. Let me read that again. I got to read that again. It might be late. It said Brazil said the package was intended. So they've sent a package. They sent a human hand, a parcel. They mailed a human hand, and 3 placentas were mailed to Singapore to this guy, this fashion designer guy. Brazil said the package was intended for Indonesian fashion designer Arnold Putra, who was in 2020 spotted with a handbag made of human spine and alligator tongue. Oh my God, they're trafficking people's organs to make fashion, like clothes and stuff and purses. And this guy, he used a human spine to make this purse. I am done. I don't know how he used a human spine to make a purse, but it is what it is. Arnold claimed the spine was medically sourced from Canada with papers. They're getting papers, guys. It's like they're kidnapping these people. This is scary. I'm gonna look more into this stuff, and we got to look into this. This is terrifying. It's like they are trafficking these organs or whatever, and they have papers. For example, if you buy, this is disgusting. Because it's like analogous to buying a name brand purse. For example, if you buy Louis Vuitton or Chanel, you get papers for that because that's like you have like a serial number and everything to show it's a legitimate, purse. Well, now they're over here trafficking human organs and they get papers with the organs. Like this is a certified organ from whatever victim that was unalive for it. This is sick, guys. This is terrifying. What do you guys think about this? Expert says parents of Hong Kong international school students should worry less about after. Oh, no, this is not it. This is not it. This is like something else, not related. Sorry, guys. I was about to start reading it, but it has nothing to do with it. That's a different article. So what do you guys think about this? Does anybody know any more details about this organ trafficking, guys? Because I was really not trying to believe that this was going on because my mom warned me about it, but I was like, girl, you're doing too much. But now I'm reading about these different organ trafficking. It's scary, guys. This is scary. And I saw this and I was like, I need to talk to y'all. Organ trafficking, the unseen form of human trafficking. Let's read a little more about this because this is terrifying, guys. This is really going on in different parts of the world. And it affects all of the countries as a whole because they're secretly trafficking these organs and sending them off to different people. And it's been going on for years and nobody's talking about this. They said organ trafficking, the unseen form of human trafficking. This article says that organ trafficking, a lucrative global illicit trade, is often a lesser discussed form of human trafficking among anti-human trafficking stakeholders due to its intricate and often stealth nature. See, this is the problem. There are actual officials out here making a lot of money off these organ trafficking. So that's why they're not talking about it, because they're making lucrative money off this. It's not similar to, the other trafficking, y'all. I know Only by Grace. It's scary out here. Oh my God. Only by Grace said in China, it's not trafficking. It's organ harvesting on prisoners. I know, Miss Ma'am. Isn't this scary as heck? Only by Grace says harvested from prisoners and practitioners of prohibited religions. I know. And the thing is, notice how the news outlets, this is what I think is very disturbing about this. We hear about human trafficking all the time, on the news. How come we don't hear about organ trafficking? It's really starting to make me think, what's really going on? Because this is not publicized anywhere in the news, but it's a huge issue. And that's what this article is saying, which I want us to read, because it's saying it's lucrative global illicit trade. It's happening all over the world, y'all. But it's not discussed. I need y'all to answer. Why do y'all think this is not discussed? There's something going on with that. That's problematic. My gosh. Organ trafficking holds a critical place with transnational organized crime groups due to high demand and relatively low rates of law enforcement. Because I feel like some of these foreigner law enforcement officers are in on it because they're getting paid, in my opinion. Okay, it's just an opinion. I don't know if it's true. Just say my opinion. Organ traffickers profit in the shadows, while their destructive medical footprint is the only thing that is felt. It leaves vulnerable populations, aka involuntary donors who aren't really volunteering to donate their organs, and first world beneficiaries, aka recipients, open to severe exploitation and a lifetime of health consequences. And a lot of times these people are left for dead. They just kidnap them, take their organs, and just leave them there. A lot of these people die. Right, like Only by Grace is without any anesthesia, nothing. No anesthesia, nothing going on there. Oh, Miss Ma'am says there is a show called The Market Heart on Netflix. Oh my God, I'm gonna look that up tomorrow. There were so many people involved, hospital staff, politicians, police. That's what I'm saying, guys. I'm thinking this is a whole conspiracy that involves some officials out there and some people in authority. I'm just saying, because my question is, how come this is not publicized? We don't ever hear about this on the news, ever. This is very concerning and alarming. This should be more publicized. This is a big issue. We hear about human trafficking all the time, but we don't hear about organ trafficking. And this is scary, because I just heard about a story where, some people, they go to different countries and stuff and they never come back and they're still missing. And it's like, really, what's going on? There was a guy who was brutally unalived and all of his organs were missing. And his mom was like, she didn't know where his organs was. All of his body was cleaned out. It was like he had an autopsy, but there was no organs in him. That happened to I heard 2 stories like that recently. So that's starting to get worried, because my mom told me about, maybe it's organ trafficking. I'm like, girl, you crazy. But now I'm like, man, she was right the whole time. She knew more than I knew. Okay. Wow. It says this form of illicit trade also leaves the private sector, in particular the financial industry, susceptible to being an unknowing conduit or conspirator for its facilitation. Although, with the right training and raised awareness, financial institutions may play a pivotal role in unmasking organ traders by way of financial trail they leave behind. I want to read some more about this because we got to figure this out. Low supply versus high demand. When describing organ trafficking, there is often confusion as to how this crime can happen. Global Financial Integrity estimates that 10% of all organ transplants, including lungs, heart, and liver, are done via trafficked organs. Just think about it. If you ever go to the doctor and you need a transplant, you don't know if that was a trafficked organ. And they don't even get any penalties for it. They're only getting 10 years of jail for this. This is crazy. Oh God. Yeah, and but the thing, like, only by grace, this is the most disturbing part about it, is they don't even get anesthesia. They have to just get cut up and just they're literally in severe pain. It's like, wow, I can't even imagine. This is scary. This is like really opening my eyes. I don't know. Y'all probably know more than me, but this is disturbing. However, the most prominent organs that are traded illicitly are kidneys. And we just read about that in Pakistan, about the kid that had his kidneys taken from him. So kidneys is the popular organ that they're trying to traffic, with the World Health Organization estimating that 10,000 kidneys are traded on the black market worldwide annually, or more than one every hour. More than one in every hour, guys. This is terrifying. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm scared. I need to stop saying that. I'm just like, this is disturbing. On their own, these numbers can be stark. However, when compared to average wait times for organs in developed countries, one can start to better understand the demand being diverted to black markets. And I'm wondering, the U.S. is involved in this too. I'm feeling like everybody's involved. They said in Canada, it's estimated that the average wait time for a kidney is 4 years, with some waiting as long as 7 years. And I know people who are waiting for organs, and it is a long time. So it's like, are they secretly just getting these organs off the black market then? In the U.S., the average wait time for a kidney is 3.6 years, according to the National Kidney Foundation. In the UK, wait times average 2 to 3 years, but could be longer. Hiding in plain sight. Once obtained, trafficked organs can be transplanted to recipients in the most reputable of hospitals in major cities throughout the world. Throughout the world, guys. Throughout the world. So it's like the whole world is in a conspiracy, and they're buying these organs off the black market, allegedly. That's what this article is saying. And my gosh. But makeshift operating rooms in houses have often been the locations for such transplants. So they're just like kidnapping these people and then just going and cutting them wide open without any type of pain meds, nothing, just taking their organs. Especially they're really taking the kidneys. And we just found out the article today that I just read, you'll have to watch the live at the beginning, that an organ ring was just, the term, it was just busted in Pakistan, where they basically were they kidnapped this 14-year-old kid, and he was found in an underground lab where they was removing his kidneys. So it seems like the kidneys are the more popular organ that they're trying to take. Traffickers orchestrate the recruitment of the donor, often from a place of vulnerability, and victims are not necessarily properly screened for their qualifications to be a healthy donor. So they don't even care whether the person's healthy or not. This, the people that they're trafficking, the person could have permanent illnesses or whatever, and they don't even know. They don't screen these people. They just go and find them off the street. And people who are more in the impoverished community, who are desperate for, food, whatever, and they just target them and say, oh, hey, I'm going to give you some food, or I'm going to give you something. And they go follow them only to find out they get kidnapped, and then they get, their organs trafficked. That's scary, guys. This desperate patients in need of an organ may fall prey to a trafficker who could be posing as a reputable representative of an altruistic organ matching organization. So that's the other scary part about it. You all have to be aware of this because, say, for example, you know somebody who needs to get an organ transplant. They may think that they're buying from a reputable organization, and only to find out, no, it's an undercover black market, illegal website or whatever that's trafficking these illegal organs. That's the scary part about it. You don't know who these people are or what even the medical facilities don't even know sometimes. Financial exploitation plays a key part in both sides of this scenario. In addition, organ traffickers could also be involved in other forms of human trafficking, such as the S word, y'all know what that is, and or labor trafficking. So they're doing all kinds of trafficking. Cases are emerging where an organ donor may have been a victim of the S trafficking word and or labor trafficking, as well as a victim of organ trafficking. So they're just using these poor victims for everything, creating a multi-level equation of exploitation, exploiting these victims to the fullest in all ways possible. That is sad. The term transplant tourism is often utilized in describing this crime as defined by the Declaration of Istanbul. Travel for transplantation that involves organ trafficking and or transplant commercialism, or if the resources, organs, professionals, and transplant centers devoted to providing transplant to patients from outside a country undermine the country's ability to provide transplant services for its own population. So a lot of these countries are falling prey to it because they start getting desperate. You know, they may not have enough organs to provide for their citizens. And so what they do is they end up falling prey to these black markets. And that's why it keeps these sick markets going, y'all. How does organ trafficking fit within the broader definition of human trafficking? As stated in the Protocol of 2000, the basis for most national laws of human trafficking, organ trafficking, is defined as this broader definition. Let's go over the definition because we need to know this stuff, y'all. This is getting scary. Trafficking in persons shall mean the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of the threat or use of force or other forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, of deception, of the abuse of power or of a position of vulnerability, or of the giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person. For the purpose of exploitation. Exploitation shall include a minimum, at minimum, the exploitation of the P word, y'all see it right there on screen, of others, or the exploitation of others, other forms of the S word exploitation, forced labor of services, slavery practices similar to slavery, servitude, or the removal of organs. So it's scary, guys. There are so many. And look at this diagram. It's telling you what this stuff is worth. So eyes are worth US dollars of $30,000. Lungs, they start at US dollar amount of $150,000. Look at the incentive for why they're doing this. Heart is worth starting from US dollar amount of $130,000. So lungs seem like that's a huge lucrative organ. Ew, my God, this is scary, guys. Liver is worth $98,000 in US dollars. Kidneys are worth $62,000 in US dollars. This is scary, guys. And they said that in most countries, the buying and selling of organs is illegal. But who cares? They're not even listening to that. Iran is the only country in the world where buying and selling an organ is legal, but this exception only applies to its citizens. It's legal in Iran, y'all. I'm not going to Iran. I'm sorry. This is what is going on. Wow, guys. I'm this is terrifying. And they just busted a ring in two other locations. So I'm just saying, y'all need to be very, very aware of what's going on. Okay. Let me know what y'all think about this, because this is pretty terrifying. This is pretty terrifying. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I am interested in hearing what you have to say. Have a wonderful, wonderful night and take care.